Da 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 be da da be da da be da. I like watching commercials. You know, once in a while they have breaking news or something, but for the most part, it's just good old commercials. You know what? I was thinking about all this stuff with the rebuilding of a temple in Jerusalem and the rebuilding of Jerusalem and the second coming of Jesus and all of that. This is part 2. The origin of Jerusalem, where did it actually come from, who actually owns it. Well, I mean, it's the promised land in the Bible, but not everybody follows the Bible. Some people follow other books, and other books, like Muslims, have an alternative to the Bible, and it's totally different. Muslims are peaceful people, and they don't kill anyone, and Cain is not the same Cain as the Holy Bible. Same Cain, but anyways, they're just like backwards from each other. So like one speaks to the right and one speaks to the left. Anyways, it's about that promised land. That's already happened. Rebuilding of Jerusalem, 457 BC, Ezra chapter 7, Daniel 9:24, until Messiah the Prince. That's when Jesus died on the cross. It's like the 3 wise men, they came in, you know, like in the 69th week or something to see Jesus born. They knew, man, they knew. Now, for some reason, we all accept all of that, but then this last week, you know, this 70-week period of time is this particular prophecy, and we follow it all the way down. Yeah, there we go. Boom, there it is. What about this week? Oh, let's take that out of the timeline and let's put that way over here, over by Paul somewhere at the end of time. No, man, just stick with the program, and you discover that in the middle of the week, the Messiah the Prince was cut off, which is that 7-year period of time, and during that 7-year period of time, in the middle of the week, he died. And the other significant thing about that is the rebuilding of the temple. Jesus, part of the things that got him to die was the fact that he said what he said about the temple. He said, I'll destroy this temple that's made with hands, and within 3 days I will build another one made without hands. In the book of Mark, chapter 14, verse 58. Man, they thought he was going to destroy the temple, and that's blasphemy or whatever, let's kill him. He was talking about his own body, man. That he would die and then be resurrected. I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and within 3 days I will build another one. I mean, okay, so that's you and me. This rebuilding of the temple at the end of time is not a temple that's where currently there's a mosque over Solomon's temple, which is underneath the rubble under here, and then the mosque is up here, and the rebuilding of the temple up here. This is not here. It's in here. This is where the rebuilding goes on. So, I'm going to read from my Chinese teleprompter here. The devil has successfully planted a dangerous lie in modern Christian theology and has been unwittingly hatched, adopted, and nurtured by most evangelical churches, and now this parasite is pushing out Bible truth with a bigger-than-life deception. Sadly, this adopted falsehood is growing fat with attention, while true interpretations of prophecy are starving. It goes on and on and on. This guy Hunt wrote a book. It's amazing how many Christians fully buy into the connection of end-time Bible prophecies concerning the nation of Israel. For example, this book by Hunt and all the stuff that's going on, all these people going over to Israel to show their support, that's all good. But their motivation sometimes is going over there because there's some significance with this and the end of time, and I want to be, you know, on the winning side. But then there's this other guy, Hal Lindsey. The Middle East approach to prophecy became popular among mainline churches in the 1980s, with a series of books from Hal Lindsey, and in his bestsellers, including The Late Great Planet Earth and Countdown to Armageddon, Lindsey employed this very literal dispensation approach to prophecy, making several very specific and errant predictions. He wrote that a secret rapture of the church would occur in 1981. Duh. Despite every single one of these predictions falling flat, his books continued to sell. Not only that, people are repetitively writing new books now and spinning more yarns, all based on the same foundation. the rebirth of the state of Israel in 1948, the soon coming, the 7 years of Great Tribulation, the rebuilding of the Jewish temple on Jerusalem's Temple Mount, the Antichrist rising during the tribulation, and the final war against Israel, which will result in Armageddon. We've got some spiritual things going on. The Apostle Paul says our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual powers and principalities in high places. That's where the war is. The war is not in Palestine. The war is not in Jerusalem. The war is not along the Gaza Strip or whatever. It's in your heart and my heart. And the mark of the beast is not a physical chip in the forehead. The seal of God says he's going to write it in our mind and in our heart. He's not going to put it in a temple somewhere, physical building. And that mark of the beast, if it happened to be a chip or some biomedical amoeba or whatever it is, it's after your heart and your mind. It's after us. So is all this other stuff. So the bottom line is 457 BC, temple's rebuilt, 69 weeks go by. You know, the three wise men come along, they see this guy get born, because they know, they've read the first 69 weeks, and that last week, boom, 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 Jesus dies on the cross, and Stephen the prophet is stoned, and that ends at 70 weeks. It's over, it's done. Hal Lindsey is working for Schofield, who was 20 years before him, and Schofield was working for the Jesuit priests, who were 1,000 years before him, and all of them are trying to alter the Bible, alter the truth, and make some lie up that looks close to truth so that we can follow them off the edge of a cliff, and that's the whole point. Don't fall off the edge of the cliff. Just don't do it. My suggestion is go to this website. My website is angrydude.net. But here's one that's really good, and you can read all these books online. You don't even got to buy them. It's called amazingfacts.org. You know, amazingfacts, all one word, .org. And they've got tons of books you can buy and read and everything. But you can read them online. That's what's cool. You can get a Chinese teleprompter and make your own YouTubes on them. The bottom line is that most of the stuff I found there to be true. Right? Well, anyways, I got to turn the news back on because I want to hear some more commercials.
Rather than own the trademark itself. So here was taking all the hit for it, both from the military and...
You've already got hope and change. What more do you want?